One.
Good evening and welcome to Fleece TV. Today is International Museum Day. I'll be talking about that in a moment, but do you like the shirt? Do you like the shirt? This is Dr. Zeus number. Very pleased to be able to get this on my back for tonight's show. And inspired, in fact, many of my shirts are inspired by my very good friend, Kevin Bowmaster. Here's a picture of Kev at the recent VE Day celebrations. A fine fellow, our Kevin, known him for over 20 years. So good luck to Kev. I know Kevin tunes in occasionally. I don't know if he's with us tonight, but we'll soon see. But as I say, World Museum Day. So I thought, as I've been known to say, that I see myself as the custodian of the fleece, part museum curator and part publican, thought I'd share a couple of pewter items with you tonight here in the pewter room. Yeah, there's the pewter, looking lovely, looking lovely. Now this is a Scottish tappet hen. Now the difference between a jug and a tankard is this thing called the lid. A tankard would often have a lid on it to stop you suddenly finding you were taking a king's shilling by somebody dropping it in your beer when you weren't watching and you were getting press canned. More recent or later developments were glass bottom tankards, so you could see anything in the bottom there. But this is a 2.5 pint Scottish tappet hen from around 1695. It's an absolute joy, one of the great pleasures of my collection. That's mine personally. And then this thing here is a late, it's by Williamson of London, good Victorian pint tankard, but it's got one of these. Now this is a rare beast. This again is from the Nigel Smith private collection. Rarely seen publicly in the fleece. So it's 19th century and it's lignum vitae, which is the same thing they make bowling balls out of. So there you go. So a couple of pewter pieces for you just now to celebrate World Museum Day. But we have the first of 2 or 3 parts of a thing called notes from a bagpiper. And we're going to be joined just now by our friend Steve Bowman Finch, who is going to be talking to us about the practice chanter. So over to you, Steve.
I play Great Highland bagpipes, the traditional bagpipes that you'd associate with Scotland. I also play a different type of pipe as well, Scottish small pipe, which again, as it sounds, is a lot smaller because the actual Great Highland bagpipe is the loudest non-amplified musical instrument in the world. It is as loud as a pneumatic drill. So, you know, my neighbours are really good, but I've got the small pipes for when I need to practice a little bit more.
I love the bagpipes. I really do, but they're not to everyone's taste. What got you into them in the first place?
I guess it was. I've always enjoyed the sound. I just think they're just one of the most. It sounds ridiculous. Some people go, "Oh my God, they sound horrible," but for me, they're just heavenly. There's just something about the resonation and the tone of the drones. For me, it's just such a fantastic instrument. I've always had a real fondness for Scotland as well. I'm not Scottish, but always had a fondness for Scotland, whiskey particularly, but also, you know, things like, you know, I love the series Outlander, and when I was a kid, it was always Highlander, There Can Be Only One. So for me, I've always loved the bagpipes. So it's one of those instruments that I thought, you know, I'd never be able to play. And I kept saying, I'd love to play the bagpipes. I'd love to play the bagpipes. And then one day I went, well, why the hell don't I give it a go? I was lucky. I was working up in Yorkshire, and there's no bagpipe tutors that I could find in this neck of the woods, unfortunately. So I found a bagpipe tutor in Sheffield. And when I was working up there, I started having lessons. And when that contract ended and I came back down south, we've been doing it on Skype ever since. So I've been learning for about a year and a half now. Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, they're a foreign country to me, so to speak. What could you tell us a bit about them? How they work?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm going to start off by showing you a couple of other things that you use. So, when you're actually practicing a tune on the bagpipes, you really want to make sure that you can play it reasonably okay before you transfer it onto the big pipes. So, what we actually have, and this is what we practice on in lessons as well, is a practice chanter. So, if people probably recognize that this looks like the bit at the bottom that hangs out the bottom of the bagpipe, and it exactly is. You get two types of practice chanter. This is a blackwood, which is your standard material for making bagpipes chanter. It's made by a company called McCallum. They're up in near Glasgow. I'm trying to remember where they are now. Considering all my stuff's from them, they're going to kill me. I can't remember where they are. That's a standard size chanter, and then what you can also have is a pipe size chanter. So I'm going to have to stand right back actually, so you can see the difference in size. So this actually represents the same size as the bagpipe. So
Okay.
we'll learn through this. So that's how you learn a tune on the bagpipe. There are actually only 9 notes in bagpipe music, which was one of the things that really attracted me to bagpipe playing, because apart from the drums, I've never played anything in my life. So great, 9 notes, that's fantastic. But then what you find out is that there's actually things called grace notes, because the bagpipe, it's a constant sound. Because you've got the drones going all the time with the air coming out of the bag, you've got a constant sound. So unlike a penny whistle or a low whistle, which I know sort of many of the fleecy folk type people you get there will be familiar with, you can't stop the sound. It's constant. So you have to put in what's called grace notes to break up that sound. So, oh, that was bad, wasn't it? So you actually just lift a different, even though you're playing what that is an A note, you put a G grace note in just by tapping your top finger there. And that's what gives bagpipe music, they're known as embellishments, and there are varying degrees of complexity. So that's what gives bagpipe music some of its really good sound, because you've got these different embellishments, but you've got constant sound all the way through.
Sorry, you caught me thinking then. I just thought, well, it is International Museum Day, so perhaps we can have a few minutes of improv, important pieces of works of art, etc. So we have Rodin's The Thinker, which is not quite as muscular as the original, sadly. There we go. And then we've got name this famous artist. And his works on the South Bank, many other places. Mr. Salvador Dali. Lovely man. What is a box of frogs? That's all I'm saying. The next one is a painting, another very famous painting. Just bear with. Gotta get this right. Now, that is called The Son of Man, I believe, by, is it by creative director?
Annie McCree.
Oh yeah, okay, there you go. Anyway, there you go, that's
It's uncanny.
Uncanny, absolutely right. And finally, no, it's not Hilda Upton. I'll just make sure I've got all my bits here, so to speak. the Laughing Cavalier, and we're all going to laugh at this next little segment of our show. We are joined by Julian for one of his jokes.
Hi. A shepherd once told me it takes 5 sheep to make a jumper. I didn't even know they could knit.
Another gem, Jules. Thank you. Now, don't forget that on Sunday it's our asparagus auction that we're doing to raise a few bob for local causes, with the help of the band in terms of the musical contribution, and we're very indebted to them for allowing us to carry on that tradition even in virtual format this Sunday. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. Now, very little more to say tonight, guys. Gotta go in a mo. It's my mum's birthday, and due to a COVID cock-up on my part, I thought the last post was at 6 o'clock on Saturday, and it was actually at 12:30, so she hasn't got a card. And I've tried to ring her today, but it just won't wash, so I'm going to just give her a ring now. But happy birthday, mummy. Yeah, and so we're just going to finish with a piece of pre-lockdown musicality. Fantastic session that happened here in this very room, one of our Thursday night sessions. So enjoy. I'm going to speak to my man. Night from Fleece TV.
Ha ha!